Hello, you are all very welcome to the weekly Armchair Sports Talk. This is the Talk of the League podcast. My name is Matt Smith and I am joined by a very, very special guest, good friend of mine, Rich from the Eagle Eye Sport. How are you, mate?
I'm doing well, doing very good. First and foremost, thank you for the invite. You're a top lad.
Yeah,
You know,
thanks.
I have footy banters rule with us, as you
Uh,
know. And this is what this thing's about. You just meet amazing people like
mm.
across the podcast and stuff, and just build an amazing community. So thanks again for having me on.
Yeah, it's been great. Like obviously I've been doing this probably the last probably 2-3 months now, and I've gotten like Tariq on the show as well, and it's great that you can just throw a text into that group and there's somebody will just
Yeah,
put their hand up straight away. So it's really, really good. Um Usually we talk about results and fixtures and stuff like that, but we've too many results to get through, and there's so little fixtures to talk about. I think it's only 5 Premier League or 6 Premier League fixtures this weekend. So what we're going to do is we're going to dedicate this whole episode to Crystal Palace. So people are probably turning off the stream now, probably because Crystal Palace. But listen, we have to talk about Crystal Palace because I'll be
listen,
honest.
Crystal Palace is everyone's favorite second team.
I don't know about that now, but I will say I had my own podcast last year as well, the week in football, and I won't lie, I really, really slated Crystal Palace like badly, and it was under um Roy Hodgson. So we're going to start the podcast off, start the stream off with what was your opinion on Crystal Palace under Roy? Where did you think Crystal Palace were going? Do you think you were just kind of that 15th to 20th kind of threatening relegation fodder every season? And obviously, listen, take nothing away from Roy Hodgson,
No.
fantastic manager, fantastic person. But obviously, it was time for a change, and last summer is when the change happened. But talk to us about Crystal Palace last season, and obviously your feelings about going into the summer.
Yeah, you pretty much summed it all up. Like it was weird because I felt even at the end of the season before, we didn't know where we were going as a club. Was we just happy to be in the Prem? Did we want to get higher up the table? What was the ambition? So obviously came into this season, there were a few murmurings about this might be Roy's last season, and so on and so forth. And then the season started, and it was just uh, like it literally felt that way the whole season.
It felt like a
Obviously,
bit of a waste of a year, did it?
yeah, like obviously we had some amazing results, which we tend to have anyway. Like we pull off results against some of the big teams. Arsenal, we managed to get points of them again at the Emirates and so on and so forth. But we just didn't know where we were going. And I think the biggest frustration, I don't know, I won't speak for all fans, but for me personally, is like you get the Leeds, the Wolves, the Aston Villas. Yes, they've got more financial backing because they are kind of big clubs back in the day as well. But they would get promoted from the Championship and have more ambition.
Hmm.
And that is what frustrated me. Like, I believe Wolves made Europe in their first season back in the Prem after like 12, 13 years or something like that.
Hmm.
Yet we're like, oh, look, we finished 16th this year. We didn't get relegated this year. Oh, maybe we got 14th this time. And it was just like, what are we doing? Sort of thing. And this is, like I said, it's not discrediting what Roy did, because if it wasn't for Roy, Fred de Boer would have got relegated. So he definitely came and he stabilised the club. And there was moments where we were playing some good football. It's like, oh wow, we're actually passing the ball around. Like, right, okay, so we've got this. But then on the flip side, we've kind of solely relied on Saha. I mean, it was amazing that Eze came in. That really helped last season as well, because he churned in with some absolutely fantastic goals, especially against Sheffield United. He just seemed to like running from his own half against them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it was just frustration. And
Yeah.
the game that summed it up was the 7-0 home defeat to Liverpool.
Yeah.
After that, I think the whole fan base said, that's enough. Enough is enough. And I think they fully turned on Roy then.
Yeah, and it was a shame, because I think looking at it from the outside in, everyone kind of knew Roy was just kind of the steward of the club. Really, he was kind of just like, okay, I'll man the ship until. I don't think, like you say, there was ambition there. I don't think Roy really had any ambition to kind of oh, we're going to rebuild this club and get them challenging for top 10 and kind of stuff. I think he's probably just happy to be there. Like, he's moved into Watford there now, and like, I think a man of his age taking that Watford job, like,
Agent Ryan knows the assignment. Get Watford relegated. Good lad.
I know, yeah. But listen, that's so obviously you had that terrible season last season. Well, I wouldn't say a terrible season, but you had that another monotonous season, kind of just sitting there going nowhere. Same old, kind of slowly but surely turned into maybe possibly a Burnley of the Premier League, which I don't think anybody wants to be, really. And I don't want to say that too loudly because Everton are slowly turning into that as well. So we'll keep that quiet. But obviously then Roy leaves the club. Summer comes along. You're kind of thinking transfer plans and stuff like that. But the first and foremost thing you need to do is get a manager in play. So obviously then Nuno left Wolves and he was being swanned around to different teams. But he was heavily linked with the Palace job at one point. Then you had Frank Lampard, who I'm sure you were delighted with at the time, but obviously that's gone a bit sour. And then you ended up landing on Patrick Vieira. What was your opinion on the managerial merry-go-round in the summer?
It was frustrating because you know what's mad? That was around the time where I started the channel. So I was kind of just doing like recorded stuff and just uploading it. So, now we'll link to this person. What's your thoughts? This manager might be coming in. What's your thoughts? Stuff like that. So first it started off with Nuno. And I was like, yo, okay, cool. Like, he did a decent job with Wolves. You know, he got them into Europe. Like, we're going to play a better style of football. Yeah, happy with that. Let's go. Literally did a record and say, look, it looks like it's close. Fabrizio Romano saying it's very, very close. Next day, fell through. Like, what? Oh, man. Next manager. Lucien Favre.
Oh, yes. I forgot about him, yeah. He was nearly done. He was at Palace at one stage, was he? Like, yeah.
He was even closer than Nuno. Literally, I think he was 2-3 hours away from signing. And then decided, actually, you know what? I just need some more time with the family.
I'm not ready for this project. I think he kind of turned around and said, wasn't he? Yeah.
And I thought to myself, oh, you are kidding me. And I think the bit that hurt the most is after Lucien Favre, we then got linked with Lampard, Sean Dyche, and Steve Cooper. So look at the caliber of managers were linked to in one phase. And I would openly say it's a drop-off, personally.
Yeah, it was kind of option A, B, then C, D. Oh no, where are we going here? Type of thing. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah.
And I think personally, and I don't want to say this as a disrespect to British managers, but I think I was sick of it. We've only really had British managers, apart from Frank de Boer, obviously. And
he didn't really last long, so he didn't really count.
You know what? I think he would have done well had he not alienated the squad. He came in and he was too much of an authoritarian. Like, he banished some of the players to the under 21s and stuff like that. It was just like, you don't do that. You've just got it, sort of thing. So, to hear like Sean Dyche, I was like, no, Sean Dyche, who manages Burnley? I like him as a character, but as a coach, no. Steve Cooper was like, all right, he's done all right with who was he with at the time? Not Nottingham Forest, Swansea.
Yeah, he's at Forest now, isn't he?
Yeah. So he was at Swansea. I thought, decent job. They played decent football, but we need to be aiming higher. Then it was Lampard, and immediately I was like, no, because and this was even before he made his comments. When he made his comments, I was like, oh hell no.
Bear in mind how long left in the summer before the season was starting. I just have a feeling that was very late, wasn't it? It was kind of a couple of weeks before the season. Like,
it was about 2 to 3 weeks before the season.
That's mad. Yeah,
we were scrambling,
especially because you knew Hodgson was leaving, which is strange. Like,
we were absolutely scrambling. So obviously with Lampard, I was like, listen, he did okay at Derby, didn't really take them anywhere. Should have got promotion, didn't. Got the job because he's a legend at Chelsea. Did all right first season with no money. When they got money and did terrible, I was like, nah. And then he comes out and goes, they're not a big enough club. Are you okay?
And then he manages Everton.
And like, I want Everton to stay in the league. Yeah. I want Lampard relegated. So I'm torn. It's similar with Burnley. I like Dyche. I hate Burnley.
Yeah, it's flip flop. Yeah, I know
And
what you mean.
now
Yeah,
Dash is gone. Burnley can go.
yeah,
So I thought the disrespect, like you're acting like you've done well.
mm,
Like you're not Klopp, you're not Pep. Like humble yourself, please.
I know. But I think he's. I think players like that who are classed as Premier League legends. I mean, I don't think Wayne Rooney's going to go down that road. I think he's kind of very humble as well. Jared has that kind of bit of an arrogant swag about him as well. Kind of like they probably, I don't know if they deserve to kind of be treated that way. But listen, it is what it is. What it is.
Yeah,
Obviously, Lampard made those comments, and I don't know if you say he was kind of hoping for a bigger club, and then it didn't really materialize for him. And then obviously we know what's happening there. Ended up in the running he's actually managing Everton now at the moment. But literally out of nowhere, I was watching Sky Sports News one day, and I was like, Patrick Vieira is the new Crystal Palace manager. And this was like the next day after Lampard and all was out of the running, Nuno was out of the running. I was literally like, where the hell does this come from? Vieira is the new manager of
listen.
Crystal Palace. And like what first of all, I want to know what your feelings were on the day. Obviously you can like recency bias, the season you've had to have and stuff like that. What were your feelings when it was announced that Patrick Vieira was the new and it was signed, sealed, and delivered?
I I was buzzing.
Really, yeah?
Absolutely, I was. And there's a reason behind it. It's not because he's doing well now. Like I said, I wanted us to kind of go away from the British managers. And I'm not
Mm.
slandering British managers. I said, well, we've just had
You needed to change.
Allardyce. Yeah, just something different. Allardyce,
Mm.
Pardew, Holloway,
Roy.
and
Yeah.
then and Roy. And, like we have just wanted something different. I was thinking in a sense, listen, we've got Eze now, we've got Saha. Can we try to play football?
Mm.
And you kind of get that more with a continental style. There are, and credit to Greg Potter and Steve Cooper and Eddie Howe actually as well.
Mm.
They're exceptional stores. Like they do play some good football, and I'm sure there's more managers out there. But
Lampard.
when when we got Vieira, I was over the moon. This is my thought process to it. It's a bit different to everyone else. He managed to Manchester City's academy, which is a decent role. But the turning point for me personally is when he decided to go and coach in the MLS. That said to me, he doesn't have an ego. And that's what I was so happy about. It's like, if you're willing to go and learn your trade in America, where especially as a British society, we don't respect the MLS.
No.
So for you to go out there and say, I'm going to learn my trade there, I was like, I'm happy.
Was it an easy link? Was it an easy link though? Is that team that he managed in the MLS, were they not linked with Man City as well? So he kind of went over, yeah, and it was kind of
but
go over and manage them.
He still could have said no.
Yeah, true. Yeah, fair enough.
So he went over there, did his bit there, came to Nice, had one good season. The second season worked so good. I think they're falling out with the owners and the players and stuff. These things happen. And then we played our first pre-season game. And bear in mind, we had Martin Kelly and James Tompkins at the back. And they were playing the ball from the back. And I was like, we're playing football from the back. We're doing this with Tompkins and Kelly. It's actually working. Oh my days, the excitement level just went through the roof. I was like, oh, can you see what he's doing, guys? Can you see? I was so excited. And you can see how it is as the season's gone on. We've challenged the big boys. Sellers Park has been a fortress. We're sitting 11th, I think, at the moment in the league.
11, 3 points off 9th, yeah.
Yeah. So if we do beat Newcastle, depending on when this comes out, if we beat Newcastle, we go 9th because of goal difference, which is pretty decent. I know Leicester's got a few games in hands on us, and FA Cup semi-final. Like for a manager who was tipped to be first to be sacked, and a club who was tipped to be relegated.
Yeah. So let's talk about that season. So obviously you said the pre-season, started playing football out from the back and stuff like that, and obviously you're going to the games. you're seeing it firsthand. Did you notice straight away the change in football, obviously from Roy ball to Paddy ball straight away?
Absolutely. From that first preseason game,
Mm.
I was
And it
like,
obviously continued on, and like
yeah,
the squad as well. There was a lot of turnover. I remember on the side of Sky
massive.
Sports News, it was kind of like contract finished, contract expired,
I think we
chatters
lost
free and all.
13-14.
But the players you brought, the recruitment was
Oh,
top of the range. Like,
unbelievable. We spent,
and
in the summer, we spent 65 million, I think. Mark Gay, Joachim Anderson, Will Hughes, Odson Edward, Michael Elise, Remy Matthews. And then we got Gallagher on loan. And then we secured Mateta in January for 7.5 million, so half price.
is Anderson on a permanent?
Yeah.
Anderson's permanent, yeah.
So is Gay.
Yeah.
And Luke Plange from Derby, 1 million.
But those were the two. Gay and Anderson were the two where I was kind of like, right, they've sorted out their biggest problem.
Yeah.
The spine of their defense there, because I was kind of saying to myself, like Palace's like whole back line had an average age of like 200 or something like that. Like, that it was like, oh my god! But they did really, really well there. And to be fair, like the couple of players that hung on as well, like the likes of Ward and stuff like that, they've done okay this season as well when called upon. So, like you say, super season for Crystal Palace. We've been talking obviously since we first got connected, and I've had nothing but praise for Palace, the way they play football and stuff like that. It's great to see a club literally go from night and day in the space of a pre-season. So it's been unbelievable. But I do want to single out one player. Obviously, you said you spent 60 million on brought all these players in who are going to be the future of the club and stuff like that. But there's one player there who could potentially be a future captain of Crystal Palace, and that is obviously Conor Gallagher. Now, let's highlight a few issues obviously there at the moment. He wasn't able to play on the weekend, which I thought was a massive loss for us. But obviously the parent rule and stuff like that. So, which I think my own personal opinion of it is, if you're willing to loan out a player for a full season, you should allow that player to play against you twice. To be fair, I think it's only fair. But obviously they're protecting their own interests. Plus, you'd probably say, will the player give 100% against his parent club? My opinion would, if you have anything about you, you will give 100%. But listen, that's here nor there. But what a player he's been for Crystal Palace. I think he's been the difference. I think he's been the difference this season, from basically being that bottom 5 team like we were talking about earlier on, to being where he's are, and that little cup run as well. Bearing in mind, Everton gave us a dig out in the quarterfinals to get to the semi-finals. Let's be honest. But he's been fantastic for Crystal Palace this season. What have you made of him? And also, do you want to try and get him on a permanent next season? And do you think he's vital to Crystal Palace plans next season? Or do you feel like, thanks for your service this season, but we're good?
Right. Let's start off with how he's been for us. Unbloody believable. He's been brilliant. And it's so weird because obviously when I saw him at West Brom last season, I was like, there's a bit about him, but
it was in West Brom as well.
It's West Brom. It's just like, oh, can he actually make the step up and stuff? Then you see him play, and it's just like, my gosh, this guy's good.
Doesn't stop running.
I think the turning point was West Ham away, where we went down twice in that game, and he literally carried us out. 2 great finishes, and we were like, this guy is unreal. So we knew he had the technical ability. We knew he could score goals. But I think the biggest surprise, as you just said, his running. My gosh. He covers like 10 to 12K per game, you know. And as you said, he was a massive loss on Sunday. Look, the parent rule, we all know what the rule is before player signs, unfortunately. I think I wouldn't be mad if they were just to tweak it. Even if it means they don't play against them in the league, but they can play in the cup. I think that's still quite a fair deal.
Or the other way, they can play in the league but can't play in the cup.
Yeah, because with the cup, it's a lottery. There's no guarantee you're going to play your parent club.
True.
But in the league, there is. You play them twice. So
that's fair.
Yeah, Chelsea knew. They knew. If Gallagher, and to be fair, the way we played on Sunday, like, we weren't at our best. Made 2 mistakes. They punished us. We didn't take our chances either. And the thing is, we didn't play well. especially second half. First half, we were brilliant. Had we had Gallagher in there, we were in that game. Chelsea weren't good at all. Could be the experts in midweek with the Champions League because they were brilliant then.
Yeah.
And obviously they were very unlucky against Real Madrid, but they were there for the taking. And I'm just disappointed that in the second half, I think Vieira made substitutions, some mistakes in that area. Because I think if Elise came on earlier and we just had a go. If we had a go and lost 3-0, so be it. But have a go. You know, I don't think we did. But I can't listen. So proud of the boys. Like,
Okay.
What an unbelievable season so far.
So to go back to Gallagher there, right? Do you go all out to keep him next season? Or
now this is difficult, and this is the reason why. We're not a club that goes and spends like a 50 mil. And I think that's how much he's going to cost. But it will be a 50 million. It will be a very good investment. You know?
Well, if you look at it that way, you're gonna get if you sign him to a 5-year deal, like he's gonna give you 5 really, really good seasons. And if you look at it that way, 10 million a season and stuff like that, like, and
it's
like
not too bad.
Potentially captain material in terms of the general and midfield and stuff like that. Like, you're gonna get that English tax coming from Chelsea. They're always gonna look for the best amount of money and stuff like that. Like, and I feel as well for Gallagher as well. If he's going back to Chelsea, he's going to be wanting assurances, especially with the World Cup not being this summer. But because if the World Cup was this summer, I think he'd be on the plane due to his exploits with Palace.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's in November, December, he has 3 or 4 months of the season where he has to kind of show off. Listen, I'm still here. I'm still fresh in mind. Now, I think Southgate will still want to have a look at him, but I do still think he needs to be playing some form of football.
Yeah. So listen, if it's 50 million, I'll buy him. Don't get me wrong. I want him at the club. But the reason why I'm a bit reserved is because there's other areas that need strengthening. And if we spend 50 million on Gallagher, I don't think we can strengthen elsewhere unless we take loans. We need a right back. We've had Klein and Ward, who have done well in their own right. Nathan Ferguson can't get fit, so we need a right back. Tariq Mitchell is our only left back. We've got a young player called Oladipo, Teo Adaramola, sorry. He's just young. He's had a few FA Cup games. He played against Hartlepool for a bit and Stoke he started. Still young, you know, so we don't have cover at fullback. We don't even have a cover centre back. It's still Tompkins and Kelly. You know? Yeah. So, and I think we need a goalkeeper. So there's a long list.
So basically what you'd like to do is take Gallagher on loan again next season.
That would be the best option. If we can have a season year loan again.
Yeah, well, if the loan fee, like if you go to Chelsea and say, listen, we'll take him off your hands again, we'll give you 6-7 million for the year, a loan fee, like they'll take that if they're setting the price at 50-60 million and nobody's like, we're not paying that for him. Do you know what I mean? Whereas put him out on loan, Gallagher might say, I want to go back to Palace for the year, you know, and could be the way to go forward, definitely. But final questions now going forward for the rest of the season. 6-7 games left. Like you say, I think 8th European spot is probably a stretch too far. It's going to be difficult, very difficult. You're gonna need teams like Wolves to drop points, and obviously Palace to win all their games. But for Crystal Palace to even finish 10th or 11th this season will be a massive, massive achievement. Obviously with the cup run they've had as well. What's your ambitions, obviously, for the rest of the season, and then give us your ambitions for the summer transfer window, and what you want to see Crystal Palace do next year in terms of league position?
You know, this season, I want us to push for that top 10. I think it will be a signal of intent. It will raise the prize money as well.
Make the board want to back Vieira as well, even more.
That probably. Too. To be able to get a top 10 finish in his first year and an FA Cup semi-final, oh my, what a season. And the reason why I want us to push for that top 10, because I don't want us to be on the beach. Yeah. Because I think after these 7, 8, 9 games that we've got left, we're either going to go play really well or really poorly. Because obviously there's no FA Cup final to look forward to. It's just literally seeing out the season. We're not going to get relegated. I think I can safely say that now. I know we're still mathematically in the.
Well, you need 3 or 4 more points and you've 7 or 8 games to get them. So
Yeah.
it's
So we should be finding that department, you know. So on that, I really hope we push for a top 10 finish. Summer, I hope we address the areas that I mentioned. Goalkeeper, because if we're playing out the back, we know we're going to need a better ball playing. Like, I'll take a Dean Henderson. I don't know what his attitude's like, but he's decent with the ball at his feet, and he's a decent shot stopper too.
He's just looking for first team football, man. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. Is he at the end of his contract as well?
I thought he only signed one recently enough, but obviously I think the only problem with Dean Henderson is it depends what Ten Hag wants to do. If Ten Hag comes in, I think Dean Henderson's going to want to push for a move. But the only problem with that is Manchester United you're dealing with. You're talking 30, 40 million. Do you know what I mean? And Man United are a club that will have the gall to turn around and say, yeah, we want 40 million for a player who's not played one Premier League game all season. So, like, do you know what I mean? So they will do that. Like, so, but there's plenty of good goalkeepers out there, alternatives as well. But like, if you're talking for a goalkeeper for 5-6 years, then yeah, Dean Henderson would be a good pick for like you say, even on loan as well. Dean Henderson's probably going to want to push for a loan as well to try and get back in the England squad as well.
Yeah, and obviously, like I said, cover right back, cover centre back, another left back, and even maybe a CDM. Because Kyoto is 31.
Do you need another attacking option there? Are you going to be relying on Benteke and Ayew?
We've got Mateta and Edouard. You know, so Benteke and Ayew, they can go. Because we've still got Mateta, Elise, Saha, Edouard, Eze. And then Gallagher, who plays the 10. I think we'll be fine if we keep those 6.
Young as well, like, you know, coming through as well. So that's good. Bit of pace around there as well. Last question, Rich. Next season, what do you want to see with Crystal Palace? Obviously, like, I think you have to kind of take a step back and kind of say, 2 seasons ago we were nearly getting relegated. This season we've probably overperformed slightly. But next season, is it a case of let's kick on, or is it a case of let's level the ship, let's be that kind of 10th or 11th team and kind of see where we are? Because you can aim too high and then come back down very quickly. Do you know what I mean?
This is the reason why it's going to be hard. I thought this season would be hard, but next season, because we've done so well, the spotlight's going to be on us and Vieira. Teams are going to know how to set up against us, so we're going to have to change that aspect as well. I'll be happy with a 10th finish again. And then the season after, can we now push for Europe after a few more windows and stuff? Because that second season syndrome is real.
Yeah,
we can go to hot next season.
I think like, see, this season, like, it was so close, and Palace got 2 or 3 wins. They went from 15th to 11th, and now they're only 1 win away from 9th. It's so volatile in the middle of that as well.
Yeah,
I think next season's going to be a lot closer as well in terms of European. Like, I think Leicester underperformed this year.
Yeah,
Arsenal are trying their best to throw away top 4. You've Spurs then, who are going to have, hopefully Spurs have Conte again next season to kind of kick on as well for a full season.
Newcastle gonna have money.
Wolves are going to be there. Do you know what I mean? And like, you might have teams who have a Crystal Palace season, like Everton, hopefully, like maybe Southampton and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be absolutely stacked. Fulham coming up again as well. I think they're going to get promoted tonight as well. So it's going to be a wild season next year. But Rich, that's it, man.
Loved it.
Crystal Palace episode boxed off. Rich, give your own channel a shout out there, because I tell you what, guys, this man doesn't stop. Right, I've known him now for, I'd say, probably 3 or 4 months, right? And every single day there's something on his channel, whether it be match reviews. He did the whole of AFCON, he did as well, representing his country there as well. So listen, Rich, give your channel a shout out and make sure everyone go over and subscribe.
So the channel is Eagle Eyed Football on YouTube. Yes, predominantly Crystal Palace content, but we cover so many other things, building up a nice little team that covers different areas. So if whatever fan you are, whoever you support, Sunday night's your show. Come and talk about your club. Get amped. Matt's been the regular on that. He's made a few friends there too.
I made a show myself on a few of them, like, as well. But But listen, Rich, we've had a great time tonight, and this is going to go out shortly as well. But listen, if there's any chance you want to let Everton just have 3 points coming towards the end of the season, that'd be very much appreciated.
You wouldn't need it because Burnley are capitulating anyway, so you'll be fine.
I don't know, man. Like people keep saying it's you're fine. There's only 4 points in it, like, and Everton have Liverpool and Chelsea in the next 2 games.
Yeah, but they also had Manchester United and they done them, and I think you'll beat Leicester.
Yeah, you did say Everton will beat Leicester as well, didn't you? But listen, if Everton beat Leicester, I think we're safe. But if we don't beat Leicester, it's still up in the air. It's game by game at the moment. I'm not used to this relegation life, Rich. I'm in your world at the moment.
It's the worst feeling.
Oh, mate, I have to try and get used to it. But listen, guys, thank you so much. That's been the Talk of the League podcast on the Weekly Armchair Sports Talk. Thanks again, Rich. Really, really appreciate it. And guys, I'll see you again soon.